got there. I don't think Tony Dungy was there at first. Andrew Luck, he's had another quarterback. I mean, another coach. It was a lot longer, but Aaron Rodgers, he has a new coach now. So I don't know. I'm just saying. Kyler Murray. I hope he pans out in wherever he goes. But I don't know. I just kind of have some questions, about it. So also, Frank Clark. Frank Clark. If you know who Frank Clark is, you should know. Defensive end for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was put involved in a trade. So the Seattle Seahawks actually traded Frank Clark to the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Chiefs get Frank Clark in exchange. Seattle gets a 2019 first round pick and a 2020 second round pick from the Chiefs. And then right after that, the Chiefs give Frank Clark a 5-year, $105 million extension. So for both sides of this, I don't, I'm not going to say, one got over or the other or who won, the trade or anything like that. But both sides address situations. And here what Seattle did. Now they have the 21st and 29th pick. Seattle just paid Russell Wilson all this money. I mean, him and Ciara are laying in the bed and he talking with the low voice and all this stuff, guess what, blah, 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 or whatever. But basically, that was translation for show me the money! And they showed him the money. So you got to protect that money. And, I think what they were going to go offensive lineman probably in the first round anyway. But now you give yourself offensive lineman, and then you still, with this being a deep defensive draft, you still could get yourself someone on the defensive side. And I say that because they just traded someone that they found on the defensive side. Frank Clark was drafted in the second round. So you could still find a guy of Frank Clark's quality to add to this team. But also now you add a guy on the offensive side to protect your investment. For the Kansas City Chiefs, they were ranked dead last in overall defense, and they let Justin Houston go because I get they were and they traded D Ford. So you had to have some type of a rusher added in on this team. D Ford, I guess they didn't want to, pay him, or maybe they didn't feel, that he was going to be able to um, produce the money that they wanted to give him. I have no idea, but they traded him, and Justin Houston they didn't sign. So you had to get some rusher back for this team, and that's what they went out and got, and they got a guy in Frank Clark. So now with Frank Clark, he gets there, and he's going to be the guy. And now you got to, show up, show out. And I've said guys are part of a scheme, part of a system and everything. And now I'm not going to change on that. So can he take what he did well in Seattle and take that skill set and it go with what the Kansas City Chiefs scheme is going to be? So I think for both sides, it's a good trade. I think at the end of the day, if I had to lean one side of who probably got the best of this trade, I'm going to say Seattle. I think both sides got, what they wanted. And I think they will give them what they wanted. But just a little bit more, I think the Seattle Seahawks probably got a little bit better deal out of the trade because they got someone to protect Russell Wilson, or they're going to get someone to protect Russell Wilson. You got to protect all that money that's out there. So you listen to the Wait a Minute Show with your man, Jelani JB Bodie. The game, I'll give you another update, is less than 30 seconds right now. I think 98-93 if nothing has changed on this game. So the Rockets could hold on to this. We'll see. Anything is possible with only 5 points separating them. But look like the Rockets is going to go ahead and close this game out and close the series out. And that leads us to second round playoff talk. So we're going to get back into basketball talk. So I'll say this real quick. Houston definitely, want to win this game because the Warriors Clippers game is following this game. And I told you before, I did not think Houston was going to lose that game to Utah, and that would have gave them the extra rest. And they did not want to lose a game because Golden State, since they lost DeMarcus Cousins, that would have been an issue for them to go in this on a less rest than the Houston Rockets. But that happened. Now both of them are playing the same night. No one wants to be behind and play an extra series or run the risk of an injury or anything like that. So I think the Golden State Warriors is really going to smash out the LA Clippers to go ahead and get this out because they obviously are going to know that Houston either won or lost this game before they actually tip off. So I see both of them playing in the second round pretty soon here. So speaking of second round, we got some second round matchups, and that is the Bucks versus Boston. So Boston swept the Pacers. That, to me, wasn't an impressive win or anything like that because you didn't have Victor Oladipo, and it was just a matter of time before some of that was Indiana and themselves making mistakes, but it was just a matter of time before the Boston would have won that series anyway. I thought they would have gave one game to Indiana, but they just didn't. They swept them and got them in, got them up there and got them out of there, pretty quick. But now, and my Pistons, wasn't even nowhere closely in contention to give the Bucks any problems. But that just that is just commending how well the Bucks are playing and how well they're being coached as well. The Pistons, they tried to do anything and everything. Blake was hurt and all that stuff, but even if Blake was healthy, they probably still would have had the same result as happened the last 4 games. But now we're looking at the Bucks versus Boston. Boston is going to really be challenged in this game, and it's time at this point if they have any shot, because I got the Bucks being in the finals, and they're either going to play the Warriors or the Rockets, and obviously it's going to be one or the other coming up pretty soon. So for Boston to win this series, obviously they're not going to be able to stop Giannis. They're going to have to try and slow it down. But they're going to have to play basically that team ball that they played last year and add Gordon Hayward and Kyrie into the mix. Kyrie is a guy, we've seen he put up 37 points in a game. He could easily put up 40 points in a game. I think it's going to take 2 to 3 games of him with 35 points or more to compete with this Bucks team. This Bucks team plays defense. This Bucks team play offense. When they play at home, they are a problem. They are coached very well by Coach Budenholzer. And Coach Bud is smart. He got out of Atlanta quick because he knew what was going on in Milwaukee. He said, let me get up there so I can, do my magic. And I don't know if he probably won't win Coach of the Year, but he should be Coach of the Year. He'll definitely be in the running for it. But I'm not going to just say this is not going to be a sweep, obviously, but this is not going to be a rout because Boston is too talented. They got guys like Tatum. They got guys like Brown, Terry Rozier, Al Horford, Baines, Morris. The list goes on and on and on and on, for who the Boston Celtics has. It's just really playing team ball. And what they were trying to find themselves last year before Gordon Hayward got hurt, they found that in the playoffs. And they need to find that again, that team ball, that sharing the ball. And it needs to come from Kyrie needs to be, the lead guy on this team. That's why I said, 35 points, 2 to 3 games out of the series. But they're going to need a big game from multiple guys. Yeah, and Jason one night, Jalen another night, Al one night. It can't just be Kyrie scoring the points. Gordon Hayward is going to have to be a collective because, again, Milwaukee is top. top three, I want to say, maybe top two in offense and defense. So this is not going to be something that they're going to come in here and just say, we're the Celtics. And you're, no, Giannis is not having that. I talked about Dame earlier. Giannis is an assassin. And he doesn't care about your emotions. He doesn't care about your feelings. He's not going to take it easy on you. He's out to destroy you. Followed by guys like Eric Bledsoe. I mean, they're just very efficient team, with this. But again, I'm going to stay with the Bucks, on this. I think this goes 6 games. I'll give Boston 2, and I just think they're just going to be, outplayed, in this matchup. So. In the Wait a Minute Show chat room, Mochi says Boston going to self-destruct after going down 2-0. It's easy to come together when you're playing a team you can beat in your sleep. So it could be, a little false sense, the way they took care of Indiana and, they feeling good about themselves. But they're going to find out real quick. When the ball tip off, they're going to find out real quick. Second game that's going to be going on in the second round is the Toronto Raptors versus the Philadelphia 76ers. So both of these teams had a scare, and by the way, Houston pulled it out. They closed out the series. They won 100-93, so they are waiting on the winner of the LA Clippers and Golden State Warriors, which I think it'll be the Warriors tonight too. But the Toronto Raptors are taking on the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round. And I think this is more of an even matchup. Kawhi is going to be the best player on the court to me. Joel could be, but he has that alien injury that he has. And what is Ben Simmons going to do? And either side, is Ben Simmons going to be able to? Because they're going to need him to really be their second best player. Jimmy can get his. Jimmy can do, Jimmy Butler can do his. Tobias, they can work within the system to get it. But they're going to need Ben Simmons because in this matchup, you're not going to be able. Everyone keep talking about hiding JJ Redick. You're going to have to hide JJ Redick. His defense, blah, 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 blah. That could be possibly true, but it's more of, are you going to be able to hide in Ben Simmons? And what I mean by that is that Ben Simmons doesn't shoot. He doesn't shoot. People say he can't shoot. You could put Kawhi on Ben Simmons and slow him down. You could put Marc Gasol, obviously, is going to be on Joel Embiid. He can give him, a little bit of a problem on the offensive end, and draw Joel out. But to me, Ben Simmons is the key. If you can slow him down, not slow him down, if you can expose him and make him uncomfortable with he has to shoot, that's going to change this whole thing, because then now he's out of your rotation as far as plays that you may design, but then also you may affect him mentally, and he's thinking about more and more, and that takes away from his other parts of his game. He gets to the free throw line, he may be overthinking it. I mean, he's not the greatest free throw shooter now, but he may even overthink it even more. And then if the Philly crowd starts booing, that could play a big part. I think this will be a good matchup. I think this one, I'm gonna go ahead and say 7 games. This goes 7 games with the Sixers, barring nothing happens to Joel Embiid. GRF taking it easy in the Wait a Minute Show chat room said until Ben Simmons can get him a mid-range jumper, Raptors in 6. It could be at 6, GRF. And you know the crazy part about it is that you sit there and you watch Ben Simmons and you're just like, if he's more